Alright, so for today's episode of Horrenda Power, I'm going to tell you all the story of how an unbalanced aquarium can literally be a nightmare and kill all your fish. So let's talk about this today. So before I start the main subject of the video, I just want to point out the Bob skipping playlist. You see, for now on, I'm going to do videos with several subjects, the main subject being what the title announced, and then by the end of the video, I will include some blogging and some minor subject that didn't deserve an entire video. So if you're only interested into my blogging or those minor subjects, you can refer to the skipping list and go watch those. An unbalanced aquarium can mean death and sickness in your aquarium. This is Chance, my sunset Grammy. Look at his fins, they are damaged. Look at his body, he looks very slim. Look at his coloration, it is pretty bad. And look at him feeding. He's not eating. Those are the sign of an unbalanced aquarium, and seeing that this weak fish was already displaying those signs, I decided to isolate him. What's the problem with the 44 gallon? It can be a lot of things. It can be pH, it can be nitrate, it can be an ammonia spike, it can be hardness. I'm not sure. My best guess is that it might be the acidity. The aquarium is too acidic for the fish I have. So the platies aren't laying any babies, and the Grammys, which prefer like 7 and more in pH, are not doing well. The reason I think it's not only Chance the problem is because he's not the only fish that got affected recently. I have lost 3 fish. I've lost a swordtail and I have lost 2 rainbow fish. And all those fish, and the Grammy is also included, prefer the alkalinity to be higher. So this, I think, is the main problem. I also want to point out that this fish was pretty like ugly looking to begin with, but the reason why I think it's not only him is that like he's not the only problem, is because, as I mentioned, I lost several fish. So why the other fish in this aquarium are looking happy and healthy and eating well? The reason is because they are hardy fish. Hardy fish mean it takes a lot to kill them. Goldfish are like bulletproof. Barbs are unkillable. Tetras, they are known to be able to take the abuse. But Grammys and other fish such as discus and other like weaker fish, it don't take nearly as much to kill them. And I do believe that was what went wrong with him. So in the 26 gallon, I tried to feed him several things. I tried to feed him flakes, I tried to feed him sinking pellets, I tried to feed him bug bite, I tried to feed him all. The problem is he wasn't eating, and when your fish isn't eating, you have to be concerned. The other problem is that despite the fact that he wasn't eating, the other fish were. And I was overfeeding the aquarium, the 26 gallon, to try to save this fish. Spoiler alert, this fish sadly didn't make it. And like 1 or 2 days later, he actually passed away. He died. And so these are the footage of him in his last moment. I'll let that sink in. Alright, now the other problem, as I mentioned, is that I overfed this aquarium to try to save that one fish. And guess what? He's not the only one I lost. I lost my favorite fish in the 26 gallon. Yes, I am speaking about Drogon, my male blue crowntail betta fish. It is pretty sad. I legit cried about that. I never cry while losing a fish, but Drogon was special, and what really sucks is that I just did a video about him and Lucius, the angelfish, being happy together. And then like 2 seconds later, after his like moment of glory and like shame, fame, not shame, he just died. And this is a shame. There we go. I'm going to use shame there. And really, that was devastating. I don't think anyone is going to blame me for trying to save a fish, but I think it is a lesson to learn. When you have a sick fish, try to quarantine him and try to deal with only him instead of putting him in an entire new aquarium with other healthy fish. So what is going to go on and happen in the 26 gallon? Well, obviously I'm going to do a big water change. I'm also going to add some Java moss. Now obviously I wanted to remove the Danios and some of the other fish in here, and I'm going to make this aquarium a way more betta friendly environment. And actually I'm thinking of getting a new angelfish, but not now. I want it to calm down for a bit. For the 44 gallon, my options are few, yet I'm going to make them effective. First thing is getting a lid. I want a lid to separate the aquarium from the dust of my room. Sorry. Getting a lid also means getting some new lights, and new lights mean getting new plants. New plants mean getting a more established and more balanced aquarium. I also want a sponge filter, and finally some aquarium salt to try to stabilize the pH. Now let's start talking about the 26 plastic tub outside where my minnows are. This is an update on the minnows. This aquarium, or rather this pond, is full of plants. Those plants are growing like crazy. The water lettuce is growing like crazy. The lily pads are growing like crazy, and the minnows are doing pretty well. Now this this container is doing pretty well for 2 main reasons. The first one is the sun. Sun is excellent for the plants. It is excellent for the fish. The other reason is because all the water change and all the parameters of the water are decided by nature itself, so those minnows are used to it. The only real thing I have to do for this aquarium is to feed the minnows. They look pretty slim, to be honest, so for a few days I give them more attention and give them more worms, but other than that, most of them are still alive. I didn't see Mrs. Crab because of the algae forming in the water, but as you can see, the minnows are pretty active and eating well. I also have those larvae that are still alive. They pretty much look like hermit crab in the sense that they kind of build their little fortress around themselves, around their soft spot, and yeah, they look pretty neat. So overall, this ecosystem is doing pretty well. Okay, now let's talk about another subject, frogs. So we had a lot of rain, and with rain there is always some frogs. This time they were like stuck in this crack, so I had to get the stick and move them out, and without touching them with my hands, I captured those frogs. But before releasing them, I decided to give them a little bath. This is rainwater, so no chlorine or any chemical in that water. It's all natural, and yeah, I've been able to save 3 frogs, and after that I've been able to release them back in my garden in a shady and humid place where they are going to be fine. Alright, another update is my ant colony. So what is special about my ant colony is the fact that they are completely free to go away at any point. They are in my vivarium, yet they have the ability to explore freely, and if they ever wanted to go out and explore the world, they could. So they are not captive. And yet they still remain in this vivarium. And it's pretty interesting to see them raid small insect out of the vivarium, so they always send some scouts and sometimes I just give them some food, but most of the time they are able to survive on their own. Yesterday I've looked them eat a big piece of meat, and that was pretty interesting. Now for the last subject of this video, there was like a moon thing going on, like the moon was red or something. I wasn't able to catch that on camera, but later during that night I've been able to catch the full moon with all those little clouds. I know it doesn't come out pretty well, but you know, it was pretty cool. So yeah, anyway, thanks a lot for watching, everyone. Don't forget to smash the like, subscribe to both this channel and Bob Army, and to leave a comment. I'm really excited about Star Wars: The Clone Wars Season 7 coming out, and remember, may the fish be with you always.